Alright, what's going on, everybody? We are live for the Kings against the Storm to kick off week 3. The game kicked off about a minute ago. The Storm got the ball first, and they've got the ball on their own 40-yard line. So sorry I'm on a few minutes late, but luckily didn't miss too much. Only 35 seconds. So Plummer, play action, and he'll throw the slant. That's caught by KJ Hamler as he gets to inside Kings territory to the 40. Or sorry, that's actually Elijah Badger. Sorry, that was a 2 on the jersey, not a 3. But a quick completion right there for the Storm as they move the sticks. Gotta update the scoreboard real quick. But welcome to the stream, everybody. Got the Storm and the Kings. Should be a pretty good game. Now, Plummer going to keep this on the option, and he'll gain about 3 on that play, make it 2nd and 7. And also put the ball marker up. Alright, now we're all set. But welcome to the stream, everybody. We got the Storm who are 2-0 against the Kings who are 0-2. Hoping this is a good, close game. These teams just played last week. The Storm won 19-9. Plummer to throw here. And here's a pass to Chris Rowland in the flat. And he stiff arms the guy and is out of bounds pretty close to the line of scrimmage. We also put out a poll. Alright, there's the poll. Be sure to vote on that. So 3rd and 4 here for the Storm. They cannot punt, being inside Kings territory. So Plummer in shotgun. He's got it back to his left. And they're going to hand it off. Here's Corbin. And he does not get the first down. He only gains a yard. Not surprised to see them run the ball there, knowing they have to go forward on 4th down. And they've got 2 plays to get it. So that does not surprise me at all. It's now a 4th and 3 for the Storm. And let's see what they can do. So Plummer in shotgun. He's got Jashawn Corbin lined up to his right. And the Kings show blitz here. Play clock at 3. They'll get the play off. Plummer against the blitz. Throws underneath. That is bobbled but caught by Hamler for the first down. A nice catch there by KJ Hamler and a first down for the Storm. And they keep the opening drive alive. The Kings brought the blitz. Plummer had just enough time. And a nice job there by KJ Hamler to make a juggling catch. Hamler had a long catch and run for a touchdown last week at the end of the first half. A nice catch there to move the sticks on 4th down. And they've got an injury timeout as we had a defensive lineman down for the Kings. So hopefully he's okay. But it is so far a 30-yard drive on 6 plays for the Storm. My prediction for the game is the Storm by a score of 20-12. That is my prediction. Not too confident, because I mean I do think this game could go either way, but I did pick the Storm. I just think they're the better overall team. We just saw them beat the Kings last week, so I think they can definitely do it again. But that is my pick for the game. Be sure to vote in the poll if you guys have not already done so. So far, it's 50-50 between the Storm and the Kings. But we wait for them to come back from commercial after the injury timeout. Hopefully whoever the injured player is okay. But we got 11:38 to go in the first quarter. The Storm with the football on the game's opening drive. They got the ball on the Louisville 36. After their fourth down conversion. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Alright, so they're now back. We've got 11:38 left in the opening quarter. Still very early into this game. So Plummer under center from the 37. Plummer off play action. Gonna go to the outside. That pass is incomplete off the hands of KJ Hamler. Probably one that could be caught, but a tougher catch to make. And he can't quite haul it in. So it's incomplete. Brings up 2nd and 10. Yeah, that one should definitely be caught. So 2nd and 10 from the 37-yard line. Plummer in shotgun, got it back to his right. And Plummer, a quick throw off the hands of Rowland and incomplete. Second time in a row he's hit the receiver in the hands, just couldn't catch it. That's one that's got to be caught. I mean, the first one, you could at least say, okay, that's a somewhat difficult catch. This one's got to be caught. Like, there's no excuse for it not to be. So it is a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. We got 10.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Plummer in shotgun, got Corbin to his right. And here's a little touch pass forward to Chris Rowland. And Rowland gets about 5. So, another interesting decision here for the Storm. We saw them go for it on 4th down when they didn't really have a choice before. But now they've got a choice, as Rowland actually got 8 before he got stopped there. So it's 4th and 2. And again, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it. This time it's at least a decision to make. You could kick the field goal. But they will go for it. Oh, now they switch it to 4th and 4. So 4th down and 4 from the 31. Plummer to throw. Plummer downfield. That is a low throw, but going to be caught by Hamler again for the first down, though. This time we got a flag on the field. But this one's going to be a first down anyway. We've got illegal contact against the Kings. Oh, so they're actually going to call the pass incomplete. But they will have the first down anyway because of the penalty. So either way, it's a first down for the Storm. Yeah, that is the right call. Incomplete. But the illegal contact call gives him the first down anyway. And here's Badger. He breaks a tackle. And Elijah Badger for a gain of 11. Another nice throw and catch for Jack Plummer. Plummer's looked pretty good in the first few weeks. Threw a couple touchdowns last week. Was good the week before. Plummer underneath here. That one's knocked away. And incomplete. Another target for KJ Hamler. That's what? 4 or 5 targets on this opening drive? Also, a very pass-happy approach so far for the Storm. 11 plays, 51 yards. 8 of the 11 plays pass plays. So 1st and 10 from the 15. Plummer under center. Corbin to his right. Plummer again, throwing outside. That one's incomplete. Out of the reach of his tight end. That time the Kings brought a blitz. Actually decent protection. But Plummer just let him a little too far to the outside. So 3rd and 10 after the incompletion. Plummer to throw again. And that one's underneath, caught by Rowland for a gain of about 6. And we got another 4th down here for the for the Storm. And this time, they're going to send on that field goal unit and take the points. So it's 4th and 5. Michael Lance is 3 for 3 on the season. This one is a 28-yard field goal to get the game's first points. And, oh, he missed it! He missed it wide to the left. And it's no good. It stays 0-0. It's his first miss of the year. He just pulls it to the left. And the Storm come up empty on their first drive. So that is not good there for Orlando. I mean, they moved the ball pretty well. Got the ball down the field. It ends up being a 14-play, 56-yard drive. That takes over half the quarter off the clock. 7:51 to be exact. But they missed the 28-yard field goal. And it stays scoreless. And now we'll see the Kings for their first offensive possession. Something very interesting for the Kings is going to be, who is their quarterback? One second. But yeah, who is their quarterback is the question, because last week they played both Jason Bean and Chandler Rogers. Neither were that good, and we'll see who is going to come out and start this game as their quarterback. If it was up to me, it would be Jason Bean. I thought he played pretty well in the first game, and I really thought there was no reason to even go away from him in the first place. So it would be Jason Bean if it was me, and I was the Kings coach, and Chris Redmond, but obviously I'm not, and we'll see what they end up deciding. I still think it never made any sense to go away from him in the first place. Hold on. FYI, there's a channel showing the game without permission called All Things Funny Comedy. If we report them, if we mass report them, we can get them taken down. Alright, I'll keep that in mind. I'll report that. Thanks for letting me know. I actually saw your tweet on that the other day. I follow you on Twitter. So it's pretty cool to see someone I follow in my chat like that. But thanks for the update. The first play here is a run for a gain of about 5 for Benny Snell. Brings up 2nd and 5. It is Jason Bean at quarterback for the Kings. on the season. 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, 275 yards. Although he's completed just 18 of 42 passes. The 2nd and 5, Bean's first throw is a completion for a gain of about 8 to Waukee Jackson. Give me 1 second. So 1st and 10 from the 38. Here is Bean in shotgun, got it back to his left. And Bean play action. Quick throw that's incomplete. And that brings up 2nd and 10. That has been the one thing Jason Bean has not been that good at so far. He has not had a very good completion percentage. I think they showed he's 18 for 42. Before the game started, so I mean, not great. And he went 4 for 15 last week, which definitely hurts that. Well, look to throw here. Design road was right, and that throw is also incomplete. Missed him a little high right there. Looking for Isaiah Winstead. So 3rd and 10. We got 5:05 to go in the first quarter. Bean to throw. And he's going to go deep downfield. He's got a man. It's caught by Waukee Jackson for the first down. A nice throw by Jason Bean. Waukee Jackson able to get behind the defense. And a big play and a first down for the Kings. It's a double move for Waukee Jackson. It's an out and up. And a big play through the air on 3rd down. That is one thing I think Jason Bean did really well in week 1. He threw it deep. And was very accurate. Ball now on the Storm 29-yard line. Bean to throw again. Gets pressured. And Bean gets sacked. Back at the 42-yard line. Brings up 2nd and long. And I hope Bean's okay right there. He was taken down in a weird way. His leg gets like caught under him. And he's still down. So I was hopeful he's okay. But we wait for them to come back from commercial. I was hopefully Bean is okay. But that will force Chandler Rogers into the game. played last week, wasn't amazing. I mean, he was okay, but not terrible. Chandler Rogers last week against the Storm, when I think he threw for like 120 yards. Let me check his stats. Hopefully it loads. Rogers, he threw for 152 yards. So Chandler Rogers into the game at quarterback. Yeah, last week 151 yards and an interception. He entered the game on the third series. Here he's forced in the game because of an injury. And Rogers, a delayed handoff to Benny Snell. And he goes nowhere as he lost a yard. And it brings up 3rd and 22. This Kings run game has been awful to start the year. They've run for like 70 yards in the 2 games combined. So Rogers is going to stay in here for this 3rd down. It is 3rd and 22. Rogers going to look to throw. Rogers, pressured, he throws underneath. It's caught by Snell. And he'll gain about 7 on the check down. But that gets him into field goal range. Because you can't punt. So a smart play just to take what you can get right there. And they'll attempt a long field goal. So this is going to be a 51-yard field goal here for the Kings. We just saw the Storm miss a field goal on their opening drive. But this one from 51. And this kick is on line, and it is good. A 51-yarder gets the Kings on the board. And they're on the board 3-0. How about that? It's the long field goal that gets made and the short field goal that gets missed. But the Kings, they get points. They're up 3-0 with 2:37 to go in the first quarter. Their drive, 9 plays, 42 yards. 33 of the 42 yards came on that one play. The big pass play to Lucky Jackson, who has been their best receiver to this point. He leads them with 88 receiving yards in the first 2 games. Wasn't anything crazy last week. Just 2 catches, 15 yards, but 6 for 73 and a touchdown in the opener against the Stallions. And already 41 yards and 2 catches today. But we wait for them to come back from commercial. The Storm will get the ball for their second possession here. 2:38 to go in the first half. Sorry, first quarter. 3-0 Kings. 51-42. The Storm outgained the Kings on the first drive. But we will see what the Storm can do for their second drive. Jack Plummer on the offense going to come back onto the field. A very pass-heavy approach to start the game. And this kick is headed out of bounds. Actually, I don't know if it actually bounced out of bounds, but it bounces short of the landing zone. So it'll be great field position for the Storm. So it'll come out to the 40-yard line. So first down here from the 40. Here's Plummer. He dumps it off to Rowan in the flat. Got a lot of space after the catch. Gets a block from Badger. And one play, and they're inside the 40 down to the 34-yard line. It is a 34-yard catch and run for Chris Rowland. And a big first down for the Storm. And a great start to the drive. That's a nice catch and run right there. Officially 38 yards. And the Storm there, they've actually been the most explosive offense. They've got 15 plays of at least 15 yards, which is best in the UFL through 2 games. They go to the ground here, and this time they get chopped down after again of a yard. So it is 2nd and 9. Minute 50 to go in the first quarter. Here is Plummer on the option, and Plummer makes the guy miss. He's got the first down, and he's out of bounds after another 10 to 11 yards. That's the second time we've seen him keep it on the option. This time he got a pretty good run. So 1st and 10 from the 19. They go to the ground. Here's Stewart trying to bounce the outside. He's able to turn the corner, and he's got another first down. 12 yards for the Storm on that run. And it's 1st and goal with under a minute to play here in the first quarter. So Plummer in shotgun, Stewart to his left from the 7-yard line. Here is a toss to the left with Stewart. And this time he's not nearly going to have as much as he gets stopped at the line of scrimmage. So it brings up 2nd and goal. And that'll probably take us to the second quarter. So yeah, that does bring us to the second quarter. End of the first, we've got the Kings up 3-0, but the Storm with the football in the red zone. They've got it 2nd and goal from the 7-yard line as we enter the second quarter. But we go to the second quarter, a 3-0 Kings lead. The Storm outgained the Kings 104-42 in the first quarter. Storm averaging 5.8 yards a play. Kings at 5.2. And Jack Plummer with a nice first quarter, as he went 7 for 11 with 69 yards. Chris Rowland has 4 catches, 42 yards already. But a pretty good start offensively for both sides. Give me 1 second. Alright, but we go to the second quarter. They're now back from commercial. It'll be a 2nd and goal for the Storm. And they have been pretty good offensively. They've moved the ball well, over 100 yards in that first quarter. But still no points. Let's see if they can get some here. 2nd and goal. Plummer in shotgun. And Plummer, quick throw, knocked down at the line, and incomplete. So that makes it a 3rd and goal. The Storm in danger of settling for another field goal, just like their first drive when they missed a 28-yarder. Do you see the comment I left in your Week 3 power rankings? Yeah, I think so. Asking why I posted at 1:30. So 3rd and goal from the 8. Here's Plummer. Steps up. Plummer. Shovel pass into the end zone for a touchdown. Chris Rowland makes the catch. And the Storm are on the board, as Rowland already with his 5th catch of the game. And the Storm with the game's first touchdown as they take the lead 6-3. With 14:22 left in the first half. But a nice play right there by Jack Plummer, but to step up in the pocket and just a little flip or shovel pass, whatever you want to call that, into the end zone for Rowland, who was wide open. And the extra point is good. So 7-0, the Storm, or sorry, 7-3. The Storm lead the Kings. And their offense able to get points this time around. After the first drive, they missed a short field goal. This time, they were able to put it in the end zone. And it's 7-3. So no response, right? Nice. I mean, I don't really know what you wanted me to respond. I just posted that video really late because I got sidetracked doing a million different things when I should have been working my videos. That's why I just got pushed a lot further. Give me 1 second. What happens first? I get monetized when GTA 6 comes out. Probably GTA 6. Now that sounds crazy, but probably, because that's supposed to come out in November, right? Although, obviously, who knows if that actually happens. So, back from commercial. So the kickoff is away, and the Kings will get it back for their second possession. And the return brings it out to the 33. So 1st and 10 from the 33. It is Jason Bean back in at quarterback, so it appears he's okay. It's good to see. And his first play is a handoff. Benny Snell to the right side. And Snell is tripped up after getting a yard, maybe 2. Jason Bean 2 for 4, 41 yards so far. 2nd and 8. Bean, quick throw, that's caught by Isaiah Winstead. He gets a couple blocks, and Winstead's got the first down. And he's knocked it out of bounds after a gain of 12 as the Kings move the sticks. So 1st and 10 here for the Kings. Jason Bean is 3 for 5, 53 yards. From the 47, they go to the ground. Here is Benny Snell. He runs into his own lineman, and he's able to cut up field and gain about 5 as he gets to the 48-yard line inside Storm territories. Now, they cannot punt on this possession. So 2nd and 5. Here is Bean. Another handoff. Snell up the middle. And he'll gain 4 on this run. He has definitely not had the start to the season that I thought he'd have. He's one of the more talented backs in the UFL, but he just has not run the ball that effectively. I'm going to pull up his stats right now. But here is a 3rd and 1. Bean gonna keep this in the option here. Oh, he's gonna throw it downfield and he missed his receiver. Winstead was wide open. Bean had to rush to throw because he was gonna get tackled. So he missed a wide open Isaiah Winstead. And now it's 4th down. But Benny Snell, in 2 games, he's only run it 11 times for 16 yards for the Kings. Definitely thought he'd be a lot better. So 4th and 1 from the 44. Bean under center. Hands it off. Snell stopped in the backfield for a loss. Benny Snell does not get there. They turn it over on downs. And this Storm defense comes away with a stop. Or that actually wasn't Benny Snell. That was Wheeler who got the carry. And couldn't get there. So they turn it over on downs. And the Storm gets the ball back with good field position as well. Because they get the ball just inside their own territory at their own 45. After the defense forces the turnover on downs. And let's see if their offense continues to play well. But 7-3, we go to, they're at commercial here. 10:41 to go in the first half. And so far, the Storm offense playing very well. 111 yards, 5.6 yards a play. Jack Plummer's thrown for 77 yards. But we still wait for them to come back from commercial. Storm up 7-3. Really should be 10-3 if they made that field goal on their first drive. And we'll see what they can do. So let's see what they can do here on this next drive. Alright, so they're now back from commercial. We've got the Storm getting the ball back at the 45-yard line. So Plummer in the offense back onto the field. Corbin is the back. And Corbin gets the carry. And he goes up the middle for 4, maybe 5 yards. It's been a very pass-heavy approach so far for the Storm's offense. This is an offense that has not been very good on first down. Last week, the average is 2 yards per play on first down. Today, it's only 2.1 yards per play. But despite that, they're still moving the ball very effectively in today's game. So it's 2nd and 6. This time they were a little bit better on first down, getting 4. And Plummer hands off. Corbin is stopped at the line of scrimmage. And it brings up 3rd and 6. So it is 3rd down and 5 as we're inside 10 minutes to play here in the first half. Ball on midfield. Plummer look to throw, and his actually pump fakes there, and I pump fakes again. Plummer is just going to throw it away here on third down. So now they can punt it here because they did not cross midfield. They're on the 50 right now. And that is what the Storm are going to do. They'll punt it away. And they'll go 3 and out on this drive. It's going to be the first time they don't get into the red zone. So Browning punts it away. And the Kings defense with a nice stand. And they get it back. And the punt gets muffed. But recovered at the 15-yard line. By Lucky Jackson. So he gets his own punt back. We also saw him muff a punt in the opener against the Stallions. That game also being on Friday night. So that is something to watch. 2 muffed punts in 3 weeks is not good. But the Kings, they get the ball back at the 14-yard line, I believe. They had the opportunity to get a decent return out of that, but just didn't end up happening. Because they muffed the punt. So 8:43 to go in the first half, a 4-point game. And we'll see what the Kings do on this next drive. We'll see if they stick with Jason Bean at quarterback. I mean, I would like to do it and stick with him. And it is Jason Bean back in at quarterback. So from the 15-yard line, Bean will look to throw. And Bean going to go deep down the field. And that one, oh, did he catch that? What a catch. What a throw by Bean as well. A big catch downfield. Prather makes the catch. And they're out near midfield. There was 2 receivers in the area. I don't know which one he was throwing it to. But he ends up making a perfect throw. And he throws another perfect deep ball. I mean, the guy just can't hit anything underneath. But throwing it deep, he is amazing. In one play, and they're inside Storm territory. Here we got a trick play. Lucky Jackson throws to Winstead, who makes the catch. He's not touched down yet. And now he eventually gets tackled. But a big play and then a trick play to start the drive for the Kings. And just like that, the offense is moving the ball. They handed it off. They flipped it back to Lucky Jackson. And then he threw it to Isaiah Winstead, who got to the 20-yard line. That one gains 26. They gained probably 40 on the first play of the drive. It's what? 2 plays and like 60 yards. Yeah, 39 yards and 26 yards. That's 65 yards on 2 plays. And a great start to the drive for the Kings. But Jason Bean throws the ball very well deep down the field. I mean, he's not very good underneath, but when he throws it deep, he's made 2 perfect throws deep downfield in this game. Bean gets pressured here, and he's going to scramble. Bean gets inside the 20, inside the 10, and he's taken down at the 7-yard line. 13 yards on the scramble to their first down for the Kings. And it sets them up 1st and goal. But he does a nice job escaping the pocket right there. And just a good scramble all around. So 1st and goal here for the Kings. Bean under center. They go I formation. Benny Snell is the back. And here is Snell. And he is swarming to the backfield. A loss of 2 on the play. Isaiah Buggs, the former Kansas City Chief, in on the tackle for loss. They've already got more yards on this drive than they have in their first 2 drives combined. 78 yards on 4 plays. And compared to their first 2 drives, 15 plays, 64 yards. So it's now a 2nd and goal. Isaiah Winstead goes in motion. Bean throws it to Winstead in the end zone, incomplete. Kings wanted a flag right there. But there is no call. Yeah, that's a good no call right there. So it is 3rd and goal. They'll just get the play off. Bean steps up, rolling to his right. Bean on the run, throws at the feet of his receiver, and it's incomplete. Not really sure where he was throwing that. But it's 4th and goal, and another field goal try for the Kings. So it's a good drive, but it'll be a 27-yard field goal here for Brown. And it's good. So 7-6, the Kings get some more points. But, I mean, if you're the Kings, you're kind of a disappointment. You had a great drive. You got down to the red zone. Now you got to be able to finish your drives. And just did not do it right there. So it's 7-6. A missed opportunity, not getting points. It ends up being a 7-play, 76-yard drive. That ends in a 27-yard field goal. Took 3:42 off the clock. Jason Bean is now 4 for 9, 92 yards. That is explained him pretty well. I mean, he's thrown the big play well. And he's thrown it deep well, but underneath it hasn't been great. That's why it's hurt his completion percentage. Like, coming into the game, he was completing just 42% of his passes. But week 1, he threw for 226 yards, but went just 14 for 27. But, I mean, he's thrown the ball deep very well. He threw it well deep in the first game. He's thrown it deep well today. You know, I don't really know about last game because I didn't really watch last game. But we still wait for them to come back from commercial. 5:17 to go in the first half. And again, we'll see what the Storm can do. So far, the offense has been pretty good for them. Last drive wasn't great, though, as they went 3 and out. But so far, 7 points, and 2 of the 3 drives have gotten down to the red zone. Here's a good return by KJ Hamler across the 40, and he's thrown out of bounds at the 43. And I'm going to late flag in as well. So we've got a personal foul, unnecessary roughness against the Kings. They say when they slam KJ Hamler down, he was already out of bounds. That's what they call the penalty on. So that adds 15 more to an already really good return. So that puts the ball all the way on the Kings' 42-yard line with 5:09 to go here in the first half. Here's a handoff. Stewart up the middle. And he'll gain about 3 on the play. So it is 2nd and 6. .440 to go in the first half. Plummer in shotgun, got Stewart to his right. So here is Plummer, gets pressured, and Plummer throws downfield. Wide open receiver is KJ Hamler, and he's taken down at the 10-yard line. Another nice catch for Hamler, and he's continued to have a big first half with 4:15 to go in the second quarter. So again, they've got inside the red zone. They've got a 1st and goal from the 10. Play clock winding down. They just get it off. Actually, no, are they going to call it away a game? No, they got a false start against the Storm. This is the third red zone trip for the Storm. So far, they've scored a touchdown and missed a field goal. First and goal from the 14. Plummer steps up. Plummer swung down for the sack. They lose for the Kings defense gets to Jack Plummer. And it's second and goal from like the 18-yard line after the sack and the false start. Really the other way around, the false start and the sack. So Plummer under center. Play action, Plummer. Rolling right, directing traffic. Plummer lets one go into the end zone. It's knocked down. That was a dangerous throw. Throwing back across the field into a pretty tight closing window. And he's lucky that's only knocked down and not picked off. But that was a dangerous throw, and he's lucky he doesn't get picked off. They were trying to hit KJ Hamler underneath, but he was covered. And Chris Rowland took a big hit after that one. He was a little slow to get up. He gets help walking off the field. So third and goal. But we're going to take this to the 2-minute warning first. So we reached the 2-minute warning of the first half. And I feel like this has been a really quick first half. But it is 7-6 as the Storm leads the Kings. But we still wait for them to come back from commercial. It is 7-6. The Storm up by 1. They've got the ball as well. And they've also got the ball in the red zone. So we'll see if they can add to their lead, or if the Kings defense can get a stop. So third and goal for the Storm. It's a long third down. They're back near the 20-yard line. So it's 3rd and goal from the 19. Plummer in shotgun, got it back to his left. Play clock at 5. We'll get the play off. Plummer gets pressured. Plummer sacked again. Back at the 27-yard line, he goes down for the 2nd time on this drive. Not only is it the 2nd time on the drive, it's the 2nd time on the set of downs. He takes a sack on 1st and goal and 3rd and goal, and it's going to be 4th and a mile. And the Storm will send on the field goal team. Plummer was protected pretty well earlier in the game, but he's been sacked twice on this set of downs, and the Storm are going to be forced to settle for 3. They've already missed a field goal on this, in the game. That was from 27 or 28, so a pretty easy one. And now it is a more difficult one, as it is 43, 44 yards, somewhere around there. Yeah, it's officially marked a 44-yarder. Michael Lance missed for 28, which was his first miss of the year. And this time he's right down the middle. So he makes his 2nd field goal after missing his first, as it's 10-6, and the Storm extend their lead. So now we will see what the Kings can do and what they can do here before halftime. 2 timeouts, plenty of time to work with. They got a minute 39, 2 timeouts. The Storm still have all 3 timeouts. I mean, if you're the Kings, you're actually in a pretty good spot here. You've got plenty of time, you got timeouts, and you get the ball to start the 2nd half, so. I think they are in a pretty good spot. Kings actually outgaining the Storm right now, 140 to 137. Despite the Storm with a 4-point lead. So the kick is away, and will be brought back from the 5. And on the return, we'll bring it back to the 30. And that is where Jason Bean and the Kings offense will take over. The Kings, they have not scored a touchdown against this Storm defense in 14 drives between last week and this week. Because they're, for some reason, playing each other back-to-back weeks, which makes no sense with scheduling. But that's how the UFL did it. But the Kings, they've not scored a touchdown since week 1. That was almost 6 quarters ago. Bean to throw. Bean backpedaling, just lets one go deep downfield and throws it away. A flag is down. And the flag's going to back the Kings up 10, as we have a hold called against one of their linemen. It's definitely a good call. Definitely a hold right there. So it's 1st and 20, minute 27 to go. Here's a delayed handoff. Benny Snell up the middle for 3 yards. And now we've got the Storm calling timeout. That's their first with a minute 22 to go. They call a timeout with an opportunity to get the ball back and get more points before halftime. So it's second and long. Here for the sorry, why do I keep confusing them now? Here for the Kings. It's second and 17. Minute 22 on the clock. Bean gonna look to throw, and he tries to set up the screen, but it's overthrown. I don't know if he just missed it or if that got tipped up in the air. But it's incomplete. Brings up third and 17, and they try a safe play call, but it ends up incomplete. So third and 17. 1:18 on the clock. And the Kings are going to call a timeout right here with the play clock at 1. So that is their second timeout. I couldn't tell if that screen pass got tipped or if that was just a bad throw. So third and 17. Bean gonna look to throw. Bean's got time, and he throws one down the field. That's called for a first down. They convert on third and 17. .109 to go. Clock temporarily stops until the ball is spotted. So now, that is a big play. Bean to throw again. He throws underneath. It's caught by Lucky Jackson. A gain of 5. He stays inbounds. Does not get the first down. So the clock continues to run. And here's Bean to throw again. Again, he's got time. He goes deep downfield. Wide open receiver. And he's chopped down at the 20. That's the tight end McKitty with a big catch. And the clock temporarily stops with 43 seconds on the clock. And now with 39 seconds, we got a timeout. The Storm calls their second timeout. Jason Bean is a little shaken up. He was limping down the field after that first big completion on third and long. But, I mean, he's still in the game. He's already got 100 more yards this week than he did last week. And he's 7 for 13 after going 4 for 15 for 49 yards last week. 7-13, 149 yards this week in just one half. So play clock at 3. And we got a timeout by the Kings. They were not lined up correctly. That's not really a good timeout you want to call. With the play clock winding down right after a timeout as well from the other team. Got to be able to get wound up correctly there. And I think they could have got it. They were all set with about 3 seconds on the clock. So could have had time to snap it. But Chris Redmond didn't like and calls timeout. So 1st and 10 from the 20. Bean and shotgun gonna back to his left. They've got 3 receivers to the right side. Bean looking left. Now he throws deep down the middle, missed his receiver. McKitty the target, but he overthrew him towards the back of the end zone. And it is 2nd and 10. But he was open. A miss there for Jason Bean. Just throws it too far. So 2nd and 10 from the 20. Play clock winding down again. They'll get this one off. Bean pressured. Throws over the middle of that pass. Caught by Winstead for a 1st down. 13 yards. Clock temporarily stops with 28 seconds. And they're going to get on the ball and spike it right here. With 26 seconds. So 2nd and goal from the 7. Bean to throw once again. He throws underneath that pass, got tipped at the line of scrimmage, and is incomplete. So it brings up 3rd and goal. Was trying to get it to Isaiah Winstead on the slant, but that one got tipped by Isaiah Buggs at the line of scrimmage. So Bean on 3rd and goal, throws underneath that pass, caught by Lucky Jackson. He's wrapped up short of the goal line. A flag is down, which will stop the clock with 16 seconds. And the Kings are very lucky there's a flag here, because if there's no flag, you have to go for this, because you cannot run the field goal team on in 16 seconds. And they're out of timeouts. So they're honestly very lucky that there's a penalty. And it's also going against the Storm. It is offsides. .97 jumps into the neutral zone. So offsides brings him half the distance to the goal. The Kings have not scored a touchdown in 137 minutes of gameplay. This is 3rd and goal. Bean to throw. Floats one. End zone. Incomplete. He overthrew Prather, and it's 4th and goal. Just leads him a little too far to the back pylon. Prather can't quite get there. And their streak without a touchdown continues. I mean, I don't really think this one's on Jason Bean. Oh, wait a minute. We're going for this on 4th down here. 4th and goal. Play clock is winding down. They'll get the play off. Bean throws. That is knocked down. Incomplete. They turn it over on downs. The Storm defense gets a stop. And the Kings still cannot find the end zone. This one he throws behind Isaiah Winstead. I also don't think Winstead was ready for the ball. But Jack Plummer takes a knee, and we go to halftime with the Storm up 10-6. But I mean, that is a major missed opportunity right there for the Kings before halftime. 3rd and goal. and you throw an incompletion. Although, as I was saying before they went for it on fourth down, I don't think that incompletion is entirely on Jason Bean, because his receiver is stumbling, and if he is able to jump and make a play on that ball, I definitely think it's a lot closer and you might score a touchdown on that play. So I don't really want to put that one on Jason Bean, but the fourth down play is definitely on him. He threw it way before anybody was ready, threw it too hard, behind the receiver anyway. And, I mean, Jason Bean, he's played fairly well, but it's so weird with him because he can throw the ball deep downfield. Maybe he might be the best quarterback in the league at doing that, but when it comes to underneath stuff, he's just inaccurate. And his mechanics are like all over the place. His passes are all over the place. It's just not that good. And I mean, that's the reason his completion percentage at like 50%. He's 8 for 19, so that's 42%. And on the year, he was 42% coming into the game. He was 18 for 42 coming into the game. And now, if you want to include this first half, in the completion percentage, he is... hold on. He's 26 for 61. Which is 42.6%. So, again, not great. Although, I mean, he has thrown for 162 yards. Because the guy's averaging like 20 yards of completion. Yeah, he's averaging 20.25 yards per completion. The problem is he only completes 4 to every 10 passes. So he's only averaging 8.5 yards per pass attempt, which is still pretty good, though. But I'm going to go take a quick break. Going to go use the bathroom, fill my water. I will be back in a couple minutes for the second half. So I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. So it's a 10-6 game at the half. The Storm lead by 4. And, I mean, so far I think both teams played pretty well offensively. I mean, the score doesn't exactly show that because we've seen the Storm miss a field goal. We saw them settle for another one when they should have scored a touchdown. We've seen the Kings. Oh, we just saw them get held out of the end zone. We saw them miss an opportunity at a touchdown before. So, I mean, both offenses definitely could be playing better. And if you look at the red zone offense for both sides, the Kings are 0 for 2, the Storm are 1 for 3. So, I mean, it could be a lot better. But overall, I mean, I still think both offenses did play pretty well. Because, I mean, if you look at the total yards, both teams, the Kings are at 213, the Storm's at 136. So, I mean, both teams have moved the ball. Just haven't really scored that many points. And the Kings also at 6.9 yards per play, 4.7 yards a play for the Storm. But the Kings, they got to find a way to put the ball in the end zone. They have not scored a touchdown since week 1. It's now week 3. They have not scored a touchdown since they've scored just one touchdown all year. They have not scored a touchdown since the 2-minute and 48-second mark of the first quarter against the Stallions. That is not good. So let's see. They went a whole 60 minutes last week. They went 30 minutes today. That's 90. And another 45, 46, 47. They've gone about 147 minutes without a touchdown. So that is now 2 full games. Because they went the entire second half against Birmingham. They went the whole game last week. And now the first half today. So that is over 2 whole games in terms of quarters without a touchdown. They're at 10 quarters without getting in the end zone. Which is actually technically 11. But that is terrible. But as far as an updated prediction for the game goes, and score prediction, I originally said the Storm would win 24-12. I'm going to stick with the Storm, and I'm going to tweak my score prediction a little bit. I'm going to say we'll see the Storm win. We'll go 20 to... Actually, you know what? Let's say they figure out the red zone offense. We'll say 24 to... I would say 12, but I do think the Kings are going to score at some point. A touchdown, that is. Let's go 24-16 Storm as the updated score prediction. But so far, results on the poll, 67% of you guys said the Kings will win, 33% have said the Storm. So be sure to vote if you guys have not already done so. And updated score prediction, I got the Storm 24-16. And we'll go over some stats from the first half. Starting off with the player stats for the Storm. Jack Plummer went 9 for 16, 106 yards, and a touchdown, no interceptions. On the ground, Stewart ran it 4 times for 16 yards. Plummer ran it 3 times for 14 yards. And Jashawn Corbin, 4 carries, 12 yards. Really surprised he's not been more involved. Unless he's banged up, and I don't really know that. He's banged up, I don't know, but as far as I know, he's not. And Interesting to see he's got just 4 carries in the first half, especially considering last week he ran the ball quite a few times. Ran the ball 19 times last week, 15 times the week before, and he's got just 4 touches here in the first half. But the Storm as a team, they've run it 11 times for 42 yards. That's 3.8 per carry. Then receiving for the Storm, Chris Rowland has been targeted 8 times already. He's caught 5 of them from 50 yards and a touchdown. KJ Hamler's got 2 catches, 34 yards. Elijah Badger's got 2 catches, 22 yards. And then for the Kings, they've actually had 3 different guys attempt to pass. Jason Bean is the game's leading passer, as he's 8 for 19, which isn't great, but he has thrown for 162 yards. No touchdowns or interceptions. Lucky Jackson's also completed a pass for 26 yards. And Chandler Rogers has completed a pass for 8 yards. Then on the ground, for the Kings, Benny Snell, 7 carries, 15 yards. Jason Bean, 1 carry, 14 yards. And Ian Wheeler, 1 carry for -1. Then receiving for the Kings, Isaiah Winstead, 4 catches, 70 yards. Lucky Jackson has 3 catches, 47 yards. Prather, 1 for 39. McKitty, 1 for 32. Snell has 1 for 8. And Wheeler a target, but no catches. And then team stats. The Kings are outgaining the Storm 213 to 136. They're at 6.9 yards per play. The Storm are at 4.7. And the Storm 1 for 3 in the red zone. The Kings 0 for 2. The Kings have been the better team throwing the ball, but the Storm have been the better team on the ground, although neither team has ran the ball that effectively. And no turnovers in the first half. And as far as defense goes, 1 sack, 4 TFLs for the Storm, 2 sacks, 1 TFL for the Kings. But the Kings will get the ball to start the second half. And we were going to start the second half about now. Oh, why'd I put 1? So we'll see if it's going to be Jason Bean coming back in. I think it should be. I mean, I know the guy's been not good throwing underneath, but when he's throwing it well deep, I think you got to stick with him. So the kick is away as we start the second half. And the kickoff going to be brought back here by Jaden Sheridan. And he's got a good return to Sheridan across the 30 to the 39-yard line. So good starting field position for the Kings. And we'll see what their offense can do with that. So it will be Jason Bean back on the field at quarterback for the Kings. He's played all but 2 snaps at quarterback when he hurt his leg earlier in the game. He came out, but he's okay. He's back in. And he's played the entire game besides that. Those 2 plays. So Bean to throw here on first down. Bean going to go deep downfield. Oh, what a throw! Into a tight window, a swatting catch by Winstead at the 35. And he's probably closing in on 100 yards. Another nice throw from Jason Bean. Deeper down the field. Yeah, that's a tight window throw. Like 25 yards downfield. It's a great throw. But the guy can't hit a 5-yard stop route. I don't know how that makes any sense. He reminds me a lot of Anthony Richardson with the way he's been playing. Got a great deep ball, but not much else underneath. Although here's a throw underneath to Benny Snell. And Snell on the check down, going to gain about 10. As Jason Bean continues to average like 20 yards of completion. He's up to 188 yards on just 9 completions. And Isaiah Winstead near 100 yards receiving. 5 for 96. So 1st and 10 from the 23. 2 plays, and they're already deep inside Storm territory. Here's Bean to throw. Bean's got time. Throws. End zone. Call for the touchdown! They finally find the end zone, and the Kings retake the lead. It's the tight end Zach Davidson with their first touchdown since the second quarter of week 1, and the Kings finally find the end zone, and they retake the lead. It takes a while, but they finally find the end zone. It is just their second touchdown of the year, but it's a nice throw for Jason Bean. Again, a deeper throw down the field, but a nice throw, a nice catch by Davidson, and a touchdown for the Kings. Maybe their strategy just needs to be throw a 20-yard pass every play, and they might have the greatest offense of all time. But Bean is now well over 200 yards passing after that drive, just 2 minutes into the third quarter, and the extra point is right down the middle. So the Kings find the end zone, they take the lead. It is 13-10, and what a start to this half by the Kings offense. 13-10, 13:30 to go in the third quarter. And talk about a quick strike. 3 plays, 61 yards. All 3 through the air. 27 yards, 11 yards, and 23 yards on that drive. And the Kings into the end zone is 13-10. Jason Bean is now at 223 yards and a touchdown, as he's 11 for 22. I'm pulling up his numbers right now from college to see if he was a guy with a pretty bad completion percentage. Not really. Well, it got better as he got more experienced. Like, his first year as a starter, 2020, with North Texas, it was only a 55 or 54.5. So that is not very good. But then after transfer to Kansas, 56%, then 64%, 62%. So, I mean, the guy has not been terrible when it comes to throwing the ball accurately. And even when I remember watching him in college, 'cause I remember Kansas was actually decent that year in 2023 when he started 10 games. I don't remember him being all over the place. So, I mean, it's kind of weird that he can't hit a short pass now a couple years later. But, I mean, if he can throw it deep, why not? But we're back from commercial. And the Storm will get the ball for their first possession here in the second half. And we'll see how they respond after the Kings take the lead. They're up 13-10. So the Kings kick this off. And this kick going to be fielded from just in front of the goal line. And here is Chris rolling down the return, getting past the 30 and tripped up at the 38. So Jack Plummer and the Storm offense back onto the field, down by 3. They have not trailed that much in this game. But let's see how they respond. This is a Storm offense has also thrown the ball pretty well. Plummer's had a pretty nice game to this point. And we'll see how they respond. They're going to start this off on the ground. Jashawn Corbin gets to the left side, breaks a tackle, and Corbin's out of bounds after a gain of 6. We were just saying how he hadn't really been involved at all. Just 4 first half carries. He gained 6 on the first play of the second half. And that's the guy who led the UFL in rushing last year. So, not like he's some nobody. He's a very good player. Just has not been very involved in the offense. So 2nd and 3. They actually give Corbin 7 on first down. Plummer going to look to throw here on 2nd and 3. He's going to go deep downfield, and that one is incomplete. Looking for Elijah Badger near the 20, but he overthrew him by a step, and it's 3rd and 3. So they take their shot downfield. They can't connect. It's now 3rd down. They're 1 for 6 on 3rd down. Plummer, pressure, throws underneath. That's caught by Rowland for the first down. He's still going inside King's territory. Still on his feet. And he's finally dragged down at the 25. But a big catch and run for Chris Rowland. And a first down for the Storm. A big catch and run there. About 25 yards. And Plummer to the flat for Corbin. And he's out of bounds after getting a 5. So it brings up 2nd down. It is a 2nd and 6. Jack Plummer up to 139 yards passing. So here's Corbin up the middle, and he's stopped at the line. It goes nowhere. Just no space for him to go on that play. That's now 3rd and 6. They'll just get the play off. Plummer, underneath, caught by Rowland, short of the stick, spins out of a tackle and has the first down. Rowland, another catch, another 3rd down conversion. That's 2 for him on this drive. And they keep the drive alive, and they move the sticks. Rowland's got 85 receiving yards. The rest of the team is 56 combined. We got a false start here against the Storm. So that'll back them up 5. I think it was their left guard who moved early. That is their 3rd penalty. 14 penalty yards. The Kings 4 penalties, 30 yards. So it's 1st and 15. Again, the play clock winding down. They'll get the play off. Plummer. Outside, that one's dropped. That one's got to be caught. So it's 2nd and 15 after the incompletion. A little over 9 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. So here is Plummer getting pressure, going to set the screen for Corbin on 2nd and long. Corbin gets a couple blockers downfield, and Corbin, an escort to the end zone. Touchdown, Storm. What a response. What a play. They fake it going right. They throw the screen back left, and he is an escort of linemen leading him into the end zone. A really nice play there for the Storm, and they retake the lead. The Kings go right down the field in 3 plays to Storm a more methodical drive. They've got everybody flowing to the right. They weave Corbin into the flat to the left and get the lineman out there. And that is just a really, really well executed play there for the Storm. And Lance adds the extra point. Makes it 17-13. As both teams with touchdowns on their first drive of the second half. So Plummer throws his second touchdown. It's Jashawn Corbin. And both teams find the end zone on the first drive of the half. 8 plays, 61 yards for the Storm. They take 4:43 off the clock. After the Kings went 3 plays, 61 yards. Took 1:30 off the clock to start the half. So now we'll see how the Storm, or how the Kings offense responds. They finally found the end zone before. We'll see if they can do it again. Although, I mean, it took them, 10 quarters to find the end zone again? But I was hopefully it takes them a lot shorter to find the end zone this time. Again. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. So it's a 17-13 Storm lead. We're about 7 minutes into the third quarter. 8:47 to go, to be exact. After that touchdown and that drive, Jack Plummer is up to 165 yards and 2 scores. I believe he also threw a couple touchdowns last week. So that's now 4 in the last 2 games for Jack Plummer. So we're back from commercial. The Storm kicks off. And here is Jaden Sheridan on the return. And he gets a block. He's still on his feet down the sideline. And he's at about the 46. Another big return there for Jaden Sheridan. And it looks like he's a little shaken up after that. But another big return. And Jason Bean and the Kings offense back onto the field. Jason Bean started 2 for 4 for 41 yards. Since then, 9 for 8, 182 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, that's really not that much different than the 2 for 4 start, because he's still only completing 50% of his passes. Going up the seam here, tight window throw. And they throw a flag. Are they throwing a flag for friendly fire? I'm not sure what they're throwing a flag there for. Jason Bean threw up the seam for Isaiah Winstead, who is probably very lucky he didn't get drilled. So there is no foul on the play, which makes a lot of sense. I think the official threw a flag because he saw what was going to happen. There was going to be a huge hit to a defenseless receiver. But Winstead was able to get out of the way, and it ends up being the Storm safety takes out the Storm corner. So obviously hopefully both players are okay. But that was a big collision. Need the Kings to make this game, make it worth watching. Or make it worth staying up to watch. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely picked up a little bit here in the second half. And hopefully it continues that way. But hopefully the injured player is okay. I believe that was Micah Abraham who's down on the field. So hopefully he's okay. But after the incompletion, it is 2nd and 10. So 17-13, 8:32 to go in the third quarter. As we wait for them to come back from commercial. Give me 1 second to check something real quick. So yeah, it was Micah Abraham needed to play. He's over on the sideline walking around, so he appears to be okay. Obviously, hopefully he's okay. He is the son of their defensive coordinator, Donnie Abraham. Here being thrown a slant, that's incomplete as it gets knocked away. And it's 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. So 3rd and 10. And play clock's at 0. Does nobody realize? Probably nobody realized. They get the snap off. Bean escapes the pressure, throws, caught by Jackson, but he's short of the first down. But that does get them across midfield. So they're now going to have to go for it on 4th down. If I'm the Storm, I might just challenge this. Because you know you're going to be right with the delay of game. Because the play clock was at 0 for like 3 seconds. So, it should have been called. But now because they got 7 there, they're going to go for it on 4th down because they have to. Because they're inside opposing territory. And they're going to get it. A 5-yard completion to Bell. That's a nice quick throw for Jason Bean. He actually makes an accurate pass within inside 10 yards. And they move the sticks on 4th down. But, I mean, that is a tough break there for the Storm because the officials let that play clock go way beyond 0. So here they go to the ground. Benny Snell breaks through the line, and he gains 8. A nice run there for Benny Snell. Probably his best run of the year, because he has not run the ball effectively at all. So 2nd and 1 after a 9-yard run for Benny Snell on first down. And here's Snell again. And again, a break through the line. Benny Snell into the secondary inside the 20. Lowers his shoulder at the 15. Back-to-back good runs for Benny Snell. And a Kings first down. This offense looked entirely different here in the second half. They're throwing it well, running it well, and looking to make it 2 touchdowns, 2 drives. Play clock winding down again. Again, it's at 0 for a while. This time looks like we got early movement, but still no flags. Bean throws underneath. Caught. Jackson, touchdown. That one might get challenged. Lucky Jackson into the end zone. I think it's definitely worth taking a look at that one. If you're the Storm. Use your super challenge. Because not only was the play clock at 0, I think somebody moved early as well. But if it stands, it'll be a nice touchdown for being his 2nd touchdown pass to Lucky Jackson. And the Storm are not going to challenge this. We really have not seen many teams use their super challenge this year. I definitely think it's worth taking a look at that one. But Anthony Beck disagrees. The touchdown stands, and it's now 20-17. Because not only was the play clock at 0, but it looks like somebody moved early as well. So I definitely think that should have been challenged by the Storm. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 minute. Alright. But 20-17, back-to-back touchdown drives for the Storm after taking 3 or 2.5 games to score 2 touchdowns on the season. They score on back-to-back drives. They go 3 plays, 61 yards, 7 plays, 56 yards. As Jason Bean throws his 2nd touchdown, he's up to 248 passing yards. And Lucky Jackson finds the end zone, as he's now got 5 catches for 67 yards and a score. But this game has definitely got a lot more entertaining here in the second half. We've seen 3 drives, 3 touchdowns. And let's see how the Storm responds. now being down by 3 as they trail 20-17. For the Kings, this is the first time they've hit 20 points in a game this year, as they scored 9 last week, and how many did they score the week before? 13 the week before. It had not been good offensively, but they're looking a lot better today, especially in the second half. And we'll see if that continues. So the Storm will get the ball back. The kickoff headed towards the sideline, but going to get fielded at the 10. And on the return, oh, Corbin breaking free. Deshaun Corbin down the sideline. He's forced to bounce at the 41-yard line, but he gets to inside Kings territory. A huge return for Deshaun Corbin and the Storm. And they have really good starting field position. Man, what a third quarter. We see the offensive start get going. We see some big kick returns. This has been a really entertaining third quarter so far. So Plummer in the offense back on the field for Orlando at the 45-yard line. They'll start here as an end around for KJ Hamler. And Hamler are going to try to reverse the field, but he's going nowhere. He's just going to have to accept he's going to lose 5. And it makes it 2nd and 14. So 2nd and 14. Plummer going to look to throw. Plummer over the middle. That is caught. Nice throw by Plummer. First down for the Storm. 15 yards and a first down. Plummer's up to 180 yards passing. Also, if it seemed like it was a very short time between first and second down, that's because it skipped ahead. I'm not really sure why. Apparently I was behind, so sorry about that, but now we're caught up to live speed. And here is Plummer. He pump fakes, now floats one deep down the sideline. That one, what just happened? Badger was wide open, but he couldn't find the ball, so he ended up on the ground as the ball got there, and it's incomplete. But Plummer just threw that one like off his back foot. Don't really know why. Let's see what happens here. So he got pressured. Badger was wide open in the double move. But the ball is significantly underthrown because he can't step into it. And it's incomplete. Here is Stewart up the middle. And he's got a great run, as Stewart gains 8 on the play. And it brings up 3rd and about 2. Oh, that was another play where the play clock was at 0 for about a second. So look like the refs not really wanting to call it away a game right here, for either side. So here's a 3rd and 2. And the Storm going to call a timeout. Jack Plummer calls it. I just don't think everyone knew where they're supposed to be going. So 3rd and 2. So Plummer in shotgun, get back to his left from the 23-yard line. And Plummer gonna hand it off. Stewart up the middle. He's got the first down, bouncing off defenders. And Stewart down to the 17-yard line. A nice run and a first down as they move the sticks on 3rd and short. They get 7 yards. And they move the chains. Plummer under center from the 17. And here's another carry for Stewart. And again, he gets a break a tackle. Still on his feet and he'll fight his way towards the first down marker. And he's taken down short of the line to gain by about a yard. So a gain of 9, and it brings up 2nd and 1 after another really nice run for this Storm offense. Starting to run the football effectively. Trey Stewart run it 7 times for 39 yards. 2nd and 1. Wouldn't be shocked to see another run play here at all. And they do hand it off, but the Kings know it. They're in the backfield, and Stewart goes down for a loss about 3 on the play. And it's 3rd and 4. Actually, 3rd and 5 is what they're officially spotted as. So 3rd and 5, we got 50 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Pretty big play right here. Play clock's at 0. They'll just get the play off. So here is Plummer. No, now they're going to throw a flag. But if not for delay a game, it's a false start against the Storm. So that'll back them up 5. And it doubles what they need here on 3rd down. Makes it 3rd and 5 to 3rd and 10. That is the 4th penalty today against the Storm. So 3rd and 10 from the 17. Here is Plummer to throw. And Plummer sets up the screen. Corbin hit in the backfield and dropped for a loss. They go with the screen, and a great job, a great open field tackle, and it's 4th down. They lose 5 on the completion. That is the final play of the 3rd quarter, and we go to the 4th. And the first play of the 4th quarter will be a 4th down for the Storm. And you would imagine they're going to settle for 3 and try to tie the game. But a very entertaining 3rd quarter. And going to the 4th, the Kings lead at 20-17. So 20-17, we go to the 4th. The Kings are going to have why do I keep doing that? The Storm are going to have a 4th and 15 at the Kings' 22-yard line. So that'll be a 39-yard field goal. Yeah, it'll be a 39-yard field goal. To try to tie the game at 20. Their kicker 1 for 2 on field goals today. Missed from 28. Made from 44. And I'll try to make a big one here to tie it early in the 4th quarter. But a very entertaining 3rd quarter. We see 21 combined points in the 3rd after seeing just 16 in the entire first half combined for the two teams. Jason Bean has thrown for 248 and 2 touchdowns. Jack Palmer has thrown for 176 and 2 touchdowns. And the offense has really started to pick up. And hopefully that's the case across the league, because so far, the Renegades' offense look great, but they're like the only offense that really look that good. Which, that's been a common theme in the UFL over the past couple years. Early in the year, they just have not looked greatest offensively. So I think a solution to that is starting training camp earlier, giving the offense more time to get ready. That's what I would do. I'd like to see them start training camp maybe a few weeks earlier. That way, you're not waiting till week 3, week 4 to see teams really start to put up points offensively. Because, outside of the Renegades, I don't really think these offenses looked amazing. Like, the Defenders' offense looked pretty good last week, but I think that's just because the Aviators' defense is awful. Although, I do think their offense is going to start get going as well. So back from commercial as we open up the fourth quarter, and it will be a field goal try. A 40-yard field goal for Michael Lance. This to tie the game at 20. And Lance from 40 is just inside the upright. It is good. So we are tied at 20. Early in the fourth. So now the Kings will get it back. And it has really started to rain there. I didn't even know it was raining at all. But it has started pouring as we start the fourth quarter. So the Kings will get it back. Now tied at 20. First time we're tied today. And we will see what the Kings offense can do this next possession. Back-to-back touchdown drives and touchdown passes for Jason Bean. But the rain has also started to pick up a little bit, so it could be more difficult to throw the ball down the stretch. So here is the return, and breaking a tackle and still on his feet. Another big return as Ian Wheeler takes it out to midfield. We've seen some big kickoff returns here in this second half. As Wheeler just brought it back to midfield for the Kings. Corbin brought it back past midfield a couple minutes ago for the Storm. And the Kings start at about midfield. They've scored touchdowns on back-to-back drives after scoring one touchdown in their first 23 drives this season. Here's a drop by Lucky Jackson. Okay, try to get it outside to him, but he drops it. That's one that's definitely got to be caught. It has started raining very heavily, so you got to imagine that's playing a factor in this. Or playing a role. So 2nd and 10 from midfield. Bean going to look to throw again. And Bean going to throw to Wheeler to the outside. And Wheeler is taken down after a gain of 2. And he is floated up. Actually, he is not getting up. He's still down. Hopefully he's okay. And Jason Bean is also limping around. He hurt his ankle earlier in the game. As Wheeler just hits the ground pretty hard. Not really sure what exactly happened, but hopefully he's okay. But it'll be a 3rd and 6. Will be a 3rd and 8 upcoming for the Kings. Jason Bean after that pass up to 250 passing yards, which is a season high for him. And his career high in passing yards when he was at Kansas was 449. So I doubt he'd get there in this game, but will definitely set a career best as a pro, considering he's playing his 3rd professional game. But he's thrown for 250 and could easily get to over 300 by the time this game ends. He would be the 2nd 300-yard passer of the season, as we obviously saw Austin Reed also get to 300 for the Renegades. He threw for 376, I think, in week 1. But we still wait for them to come back from commercial. Hopefully Ian Wheeler is okay. He's the injured player. The 2nd string running back for the Kings. So they're back from commercial. Wheeler is over on the sideline. Kings have the ball. We've got it 3rd and 8. So they can't punt here. It's 3rd and 8 from the 48-yard line. Bean, pressure ball, knocked down at the line, and incomplete. So now it's 4th and 8, and they've got to go for it because they're inside Storm territory. That's where this new rule comes into play, because this is a situation where you would definitely punt it away. If you were the Kings, you would just kind of like accept the drive's not going to go anywhere and punt it, but now you've got to go for it on 4th and 8. So 4th and 8. Bean pressured, rolling right, on the run. Bean throws incomplete. Threw it way too low for Lucky Jackson. And it's a turnover on downs. Needed the first down, got their money line. I mean, not over yet. Still plenty of time left, but definitely not helping themselves after turning it over right there. So the Storm offense back onto the field, tied at 20. Here's Plummer under center from the 48. And Plummer hands off Corbin to the left side. And Corbin going to gain about 4, maybe 5 yards. Corbin played for your boys at FSU. He's a good player. You know, Cam Dantzler is hurt for the Kings. He looks to be in some serious pain. And he's having trouble making it off the field. So hopefully he's okay. That would be a huge loss for their defense. One of the better corners in the UFL. As they also bring the cart over for Ian Wheeler, who got hurt before. And he'll get carted to the locker room. Man helps. Hopefully both players are okay. So it brings up a 2nd and 6. Plummer pump fakes and now takes a shot, but his receiver is on the ground. His receiver falls down. A flag is down. They were trying to hit KJ Hamler on a double move, but his receiver was on the ground. A flag is down, and it's going to be defensive holding against the Kings. Yeah, that is an obvious penalty. He got tackled right there by the defender. So it's an automatic first down. So from the 42, here is Plummer on the option, and he'll gain 2, getting to the 40. Plummer slipped right there. Field looks like it's becoming kind of slick with all the rain, which has really started to pick up recently. Plummer to throw here. He's going to go deep downfield. Got a man! Caught! KJ Hamler into the end zone for a touchdown. KJ Hamler, they tried to get the double move for him before. This time he's into the end zone, and the Storm takes the lead. 26-20, 11:53 to go. What a catch by Hamler. He lays out for it. And he goes sliding into the end zone. Although, are they going to look at this? Chris Redmond has thrown the challenge flag. They've confirmed it as a catch. So Chris Redmond wants to challenge the fact that it was a catch. But Dean Blandino, who's in the command center, doing replay for this game, already confirmed it as a catch. I mean, I do see what he says. I think he saw the replay on the big board. And the ball does hit the ground. So essentially what they're saying, I've got captions on trying to figure out what they're saying, is if Chris Redmond challenges the fact that it's a catch, his challenge is going to be unsuccessful and he'll lose the challenge. But what Dean Blandino is saying is he is not going to overturn anything because there's just not enough on either side. So the call stands and the Kings lose their challenge. End a timeout. Which, I mean, really doesn't make any sense for him to challenge that. I know he sees the ball hit the ground, but if it already gets reviewed if it hits the ground or not, because it's a scoring place. There's no need to look at it again. That's just a waste of a challenge, in my opinion. So the score is confirmed, and the extra point is good. And it's a 7-point Storm lead, as they're up 27-20. After a long touchdown for KJ Hamler, who had a long one last week, and now has a long one this week. So it's a touchdown for the Storm, 27-20. So 11:53 to go. Let's see how the Kings respond here. The offense has looked pretty good in the second half. Let's see if they can put up some more points. So the last drive, they did turn it over on downs. So here is Lucky Jackson on the return, and it's a great job by the Storm's kick coverage as they stop him at the 26-yard line. KJ Hamler's now got 3 catches for 74 yards and a touchdown. And it's his second straight game with at least a 40-yard touchdown. Or a touchdown of at least 40 yards. So here is the handoff to Benny Snell, and he's tripped up after kind of a yard, maybe 2. So 2nd and 8. We got 11:30 to go. And we got play stop for some reason, not sure why. So here's Bean to throw. Bean floats one. Downfield, it's underthrown but caught. Inside the 50 to the 48-yard line. And now he laterals it back to Benny Snell for another few yards. Zach Davidson, the tight end, made the catch. Who then, as he was going to go to the ground, just lateraled it to Benny Snell. They're not going to give him the extra few yards, saying the forward progress was stopped. But an interesting play for Davidson right there. But Bean now up to 274 yards after 24 yards on that play. Bean to throw once again. Bean zips one over the middle. That's called for a first down. Another 11 yards. Tight end Trey McKitty right there. And Jason Bean has started to throw the ball really well in this second half. So 1st and 10. Bring a receiver in motion. And they'll just get it off. Bean pump fakes, gets pressured, and he just throws it away here. Smart play. That won't help the completion percentage, which already isn't great, but as far as the football play goes there, that is a very smart play. Just throw it away. So 2nd and 10, 9:20 to go in the game. Storm up by 7. Here's Bean in shotgun. And Bean going to look to throw it. He's going to roll to his left. Bean on the run. And he's just going to keep it for a gain of about a yard on the scramble. So that brings up 3rd and 9. Probably 4-down territory. Because you can't punt being inside opposing territory. And not being inside 2 minutes left. And, I mean, you could kick a field goal here, but a field goal doesn't do you a whole ton in this situation. And it's also going to be a long field goal. So I would think, if I'm the Kings, I got 2 plays to get this. 3rd and 9. Play clock at 1. They get the snap off. And it's a draw play here for Benny Snell. And Snell gets taken down after a gain of just 2. I'm not sure why he tried to get to the outside there instead of just trying to go upfield, but it prevents him from getting more, so he's dropped after getting a 2. So I don't hate the draw call right there. It looked like there was potential on that play, but it seems like he just tried to do too much. Just get north and south. 4th and 7. Play clock's at 0. And we got play blown dead. And this time they're going to throw the flag. We've got to delay a game against the Kings. That is not what you want right there on 4th down. Because now you're on a 4th and 12. So 4th and 12. Tough one here for the Kings. From the Storm 38. Bean gonna look to throw it. Bean's got time. Goes deep downfield. Too high and incomplete. Looking for Lucky Jackson. And it's another turnover on downs for the Kings. So a 7-point lead, 7:50 to go. And the Storm defense gets a big turnover on downs. So 7:50 to go, Storm by 7. And now the Kings have to rely on their defense to try to get a stop. So we'll see what the we'll see what the Storm can do offensively here, and if the Kings defense can get the stop they need. So 7:50 to go. The Storm trying to improve to 3-0. The Kings looking for their first win. This has been one of the better games of the year so far. 7-point game. Midway through the fourth quarter, both teams scoring points as well. This might be the best game so far. So 1st and 10 here from the 38 for the Storm. Up by 7 with 7:50 to go. Plummer in shotgun, got it back to his left. 3 receivers bunched to the right side. Here's Plummer to throw, looking to his right. Now he comes back to his left. And Plummer, under pressure, lets one go deep downfield and it's broken up. Looking for KJ Ham when a flag is down. Oh, wow, I'm not sure about that. I do not think that should be a penalty. They're going to call pass interference against the Kings. Oh, that's a terrible call. That is a terrible call. They're saying because he grabbed the jersey. I don't care. That's not pass interference. That is a bad call. Because that now puts the ball on the 41-yard line. Now we got a flag here. Somebody on the offensive line moves early, but they're saying a Kings player jumped in the neutral zone. I don't think so. I think this should be a false start. So another decision to make for the officials. Yeah, there's a defensive lineman who moves first, but I don't think he ever goes in the neutral zone. And they do get that one right. They call a false start. So here's Plummer to throw on 1st and 15. Plummer gets pressured, and Plummer gets sacked. At the 44-yard line, he goes down. That makes it 2nd and a mile. And here's the really interesting thing. Because they made it inside Kings territory, they can't punt on this drive, even though now they're back inside their own territory. So they cannot punt, even though this next play is going to get snapped from their own 44. So that's going to be 2nd and a long. It's 2nd and 24. Plummer, pressured again, rolling to his right. On the run, he'll just throw this one away. So now it's 3rd and 24, and you have to go for this. On 4th down. I mean, sure, there's a chance you get this here on 3rd down, but you have to go for this on 4th down. Assuming you get there. So it's 3rd and 24. Plummer just hands it off here. Corbin up the middle. And he's stopped after a gain of a yard. So they've got to go for it here on 4th and 22 because they crossed midfield on this drive. So 4th and 22, you've got to go for it. Seeing the new rules really play a factor. Here's a throw up the seam. It's caught by Rowland, but he's short of the 1st down. Rowland comes up about 3 yards short. And the Kings get the stop they need. So 5:18 to go, still a 7-point game. The Kings will get it back. 27-20, Storm leads. And what a game this has been. Easily best game of the year so far. I mean, I know we've only seen 8 games played in 2 weeks, but this has been the best one. So being in the offense back onto the field, they'll start off with a run play. Benny Snell is stopped at the line of scrimmage for no gain. So 2nd and 10, 4:50 to go. Both teams a little over 150 total yards here in the second half. Bean in shotgun, gonna look to throw it. Bean pressured, goes deep downfield, and that one is, oh wow, almost intercepted, almost caught, but it's 3rd and 10. After the defender pretty much drops the interception, Winstead was the target. And after a run for no gain and an incompletion, it's 3rd and long. It went through the hands of the defender. Then Winstead had a chance to get that after the deflection. And I think it actually might have hit him in the hand. But it ends up falling incomplete. So Bean to throw. Pressured. Bean throwing outside. Call for the first down. A tough throw by Bean. Rolling to his weak side, but he makes an accurate throw to Winstead, who's been his favorite target today. And he throws across his body. On the run. That's a nice throw. And a first down. Winstead's over 100 yards receiving. Bean's nearly 300 passing. And now he's at 300 as he finds Winstead again. And they get it inside Storm territory. Gain of about 5, 3 minutes, 20 seconds to go. So it's 2nd and 5. Now we're down to 3 minutes to go. So here's Bean, a look to throw, and a quick slant. That's caught for another first down, gain of 6. As he finds Bell, and Bean is throwing the ball so much better here in the second half. He's still throwing the ball well deep, but he's throwing the ball underneath well a lot better. Or he's throwing the ball underneath pretty well as well. That's a lot of wells in that sentence. So 1st and 10 from the 43. Bean underneath. That's a dangerous throw. Trying to find the tight end Trey McKitty, but it's incomplete, and it's 2nd and 10. Actually, you know what? That was not a dangerous throw. He made a good throw, hit the guy right in the hands, put it on his face mask. McKitty just didn't make the catch. But after the incompletion, the clock does run, because in the UFL, the clock only stops on incompletions if you're inside 2 minutes and a half. So the clock runs to the 2-minute warning. And we reached the 2-minute warning. 27-20. The Storm leads the Kings. And what a game this has been. Jason Bean, 309 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Jack Plummer's thrown for 238 and 3 touchdowns. This is some good football. I know people like to hate on the UFL and say this is not good football. The first half, I'll give you, wasn't the greatest. I mean, it was still pretty good. But this second half is good football. For sure. But we wait for them to come back from commercial at the 2-minute warning. I believe the Storm has all 3 timeouts. The Kings have 2. Because they obviously burned one with the challenge, which made absolutely no sense considering it was already reviewed. But we wait for them to come back from commercial. 2 minutes to go. Storm trying to hold on for their 3rd win and go to 3-0. The Kings looking for their 1st win in franchise history. But we're in a 7-point game. Got 2 minutes to go. And we'll see what Jason Bean and the Kings offense can do. They've played very well here in this second half. So we're back from commercial for the final 2 minutes. A 7-point Storm lead. Jason Bean trying to lead the Kings back. Bean, under pressure, throws that's caught by Jackson, spinning away from defender, makes another nice cut. And he's got a 1st down. The clock will temporarily stop because he gets the 1st down. A gain of 11. Minute 53. A night and day difference for Jason Bean from last week to this week. Last week he went 4 for 15, 49 yards. Today he's thrown for well over 300 and 2 touchdowns. Up the seam, that's off the hand of his receiver and incomplete. Made another nice throw deep down the field. This time, McKitty just can't quite make the catch. Makes a one-handed attempt at it. If he goes out with 2 hands, he might make that catch, but it ends up incomplete, but a pretty solid throw for Bean. So 2nd and 10 from the 32. Bean looks to throw. Bean pressured, pump fakes. And now Bean throws deep downfield. That one caught inside the 10 at the 6. Zach Davidson makes the catch. Gets it out of bounds and stops the clock with 1:35 to go. Or are they going to say he didn't get out of bounds? I'm not sure. We got 1:35 on the clock. Another nice play by Jason Bean, buying enough time and delivering a great throw downfield to Zach Davidson. So now it's 1st and goal from the 6. Bean in shotgun, he'll look to throw it. Bean throws. That is behind his receiver and incomplete, which stops the clock with 1:17 to go. As it brings up 2nd and goal. Jason Bean, 346 yards, 2 touchdowns. If you're the Kings, you got a decision to make here. If you score, kick it or go for 2. But obviously, got to worry about scoring and getting the end zone first. So it's 2nd and goal from the 6. Bean with time throws back to the end zone. He missed him. Davidson was open, but he threw it out of bounds. That's one of those misses we saw from Bean in the first half. I mean, he's got to make that throw better. He has been so good here in the second half. He's got to make that throw. So now it's 3rd and goal. Minute 12 on the clock. 3rd and goal from the 6. So here's Bean. Gonna look to throw. Bean throws. Back of the end zone. Wide open. Touchdown. Zach Davidson, his 2nd of the day. And the Kings have pulled to within 1 and are an extra point away from tying it up. What a drive by Jason Bean. And the Kings an extra point away from tying it. And they got a decision to make here. Knowing the overtime rules in the UFL, how it's like college, both teams get a chance, I'm just kicking this and going to overtime. But we'll see what Chris Redmond decides. But man, what a game. Oh, wait a minute. The Storm are using their super challenge. Anthony Beck is going to challenge that there was a hold against the left tackle on this touchdown. So there was no holding called on the field. And let's see this. Call. The guy does end up on the ground. No, I don't think that's a hold. I think that's clean. So the ruling in the field stands. There is no holding. The touchdown is confirmed. And it's a 1-point game, 27-26. So now here's a big extra point. To tie it at 27. And the extra point is good. 27-27, we are tied with 1:06 to play. Jason Bean throws his third touchdown. He's played an unbelievable second half after a interesting first half. So now the Storm, they've got some time to try to do something. You got 1:06. You've got a timeout. Let's see what you can try to do. Jason Bean on that last drive, 66 yards and a touchdown. So let's see if Jack Plummer can lead the Storm to a game-winning drive, whether that's a field goal or touchdown or anything. Kings have 2 timeouts. Storm has 1. Chris Rowland, a dangerous returner, back deep to receive this kick. The kick is away, and Rowland from the 7 going to bring it back. So here is Rowland, and he's stopped at the 29-yard line. So we got exactly 1 minute on the clock for Jack Plummer and the Orlando Storm. The quarterbacks have combined to throw for 590 yards and 6 touchdowns in this game. Each quarterback has thrown 3. Bean has thrown for 352, Plummer 238. So you've got 1 minute on the clock and 1 timeout to work with if you're the Storm. Ball's on your own 29-yard line. And Plummer going to look to throw here on the first play. And he'll try to throw underneath, looking for Rowland. And Rowland looking for a flag. But there's no flag, and the pass is incomplete. So 2nd and 10. Plummer in shotgun, got Corbin to his right. And now prior to this second down play, we got a timeout defensively. So the Kings call their second timeout. That leaves each team with 1 timeout remaining. And also remember, both teams have used their challenge already and lost it. Now, the Storm kicker has missed a field goal today. He missed from 28 on the first drive of the game. So, if he can get an opportunity here to try to redeem himself, that'd be kind of big for him and the Storm. But obviously, a long way to go before you even consider field goal range. 2nd and 10 from the 29. Plummer, outside, that's caught. Gain of about 4, maybe 5 yards on the play. It takes 4 seconds off the clock. So you're down to 51 seconds. So 3rd and 6, play clock winding down. They'll get it off. Plummer, underneath that pass, caught by Rowland for the first down. He gains 8, stops the clock temporarily with 47 seconds to go. First down for the Storm. So now they're going to get on the ball and clock it with 45 seconds. The career long for the Storm kicker, Michael Lance, is 57, which he hit earlier this year in week 1. So, you can probably let him go for probably like 60. But gotta still get closer. I mean, you're only on your own 41. Here's Plummer to throw. And Plummer throws outside. That's caught, but he's taken down inbounds. The clock going to continue to run. 35 seconds and counting. Now the Storm trying to get another play off here. It's 3rd and 12 as well, because remember, he spiked it on first down. Plummer, outside, that's caught by Corbin. He's taken down in bounds as well. So now it's 4th down. I think if I'm the Kings, I call a timeout. Because you never know what can happen. So the Kings, they do call that final timeout. There is 10 seconds on the clock. And, I mean, you never know what can happen. So it's 4th down, 13 seconds on the clock. The Kings will get it back after the Storm will punt. Lucky Jackson's back deep to receive the punt for the Kings. So Browning will punt it. And Lucky Jackson will... Oh, not sure what happened there, but there's 1 second on the clock because the game skipped ahead. And it bounced out of bounds at the 6-yard line. So 1 second on the clock. I mean, what can you possibly do here? And you could run the ball, but they're just going to take a knee. And we will head to overtime. First overtime game of the season. And we go to overtime tied at 27. The Storm looking to stay undefeated. Kings looking for their first win. Man, what a game. Now, we go to overtime tied at 27. Overtime rules is... I'm going to look it up because I don't completely remember. Who do you think wins this? I'm going to say the Storm. Just because we've seen Jason Bean be a little bit inaccurate in short passes, which, I mean, is what you have right now at overtime. So here we go, overtime. Each team gets 3 attempts alternating from the 5-yard line. If the first 3 attempts for each team, if after the first 3 attempts for each team, the tie has not been broken, they will alternate attempts until there's a winner, just like college with their alternating 2-point conversions. The home team will have the choice to go on offense or defense first. Wait, what? No, we've got a coin toss to see who gets the ball first. So essentially, teams are alternating 2-point attempts from the 5-yard line, and both teams are guaranteed 3 attempts. Or, not necessarily guaranteed. It's kind of like a shootout, if that makes any sense. Interesting. The Kings have just elected to go on offense first. Don't you want defense first? Then you know what you need to do offensively. Because, I mean, I know you can't win it after just one possession. So it's going to go... Not really scoring first puts them under pressure. That is true. I'm not sure. I still think defense will backfire if they don't score, yeah. So the Kings elect to go on offense first. Here's their play from the 5-yard line. Bean gonna look to throw it. Bean, pocket collapsing, just lets it go. It's incomplete. So their first attempt is unsuccessful. So now the Storm are going to get their chance. I mean, Bean just had not much of a chance right there. The left tackle and right tackle got driven back into his lap. And he just had to get rid of it. So now it is the Storm. Defense has been trash all game. Got to go with the strength. Yeah, that makes sense. So here is the Storm, their first attempt in overtime. Plummer to throw it. Plummer with good protection. Throws back to the end zone. No good. Off the hands of KJ Hamler. And incomplete. So now the Kings offense back on the field. Yeah, it's just like a hockey shootout. Plummer threw it a little bit behind KJ Hamler. If he throws that in front of him, he got it. Yeah, so it's just like a hockey shootout. So now the Kings have it for their second possession. Or their second 2-point attempt here of overtime. The interesting thing is, with it being from the 5-yard line, you can't really run the ball. It's got to be a pass. They're going to empty the backfield here, and the Storm don't like this look. Anthony Beck calls timeout. Both teams do get one in overtime. So it's the same look offensively for the Kings. An empty backfield for Jason Bean. And Bean quick throws, receivers on the ground. Trying to get it to Davidson. So that try is also no good as he fell down. And now the Storm have it, and still nobody scored in overtime. So here is Jack Plummer and the Orlando offense for their second try. They're going to bring a receiver in motion, and Plummer going to look to throw here. Plummer underneath, that's caught by Corbin, but he's wrapped up short. So their attempt is also unsuccessful. So each team's had it twice, and nobody has scored. So now the Kings get it back for their third try. If both teams score or if both teams don't get it, we keep going. So empty backfield, they spread the field and go 5 wide here. Bean. Gonna try to run it. Now he's gonna flip one back of the end zone. It is... No, he was out of bounds. Benny Snell was on the sideline when he caught that. Oh, man. It looked like that might have been a designed quarterback run. But Benny Snell was open in the back of the end zone, but the officials say his foot was on the line when he caught that. And yeah, it was. He was out of bounds. Oh, man. If he's like 3 inches to the left, that's good, and you put a lot of pressure on the Storm, but he's out of bounds. And now here's the Storm with a chance to win it. So Plummer looks to throw. Louisville brings a blitz. Plummer throws. End zone. A flag comes in. They try to throw to the corner of the end zone, which this is going to be pass interference against the Kings, and that is the right call. And the receiver, that is the right call. '81 there is the intended receiver. I think that is the right call. So now that gives the Storm another chance. It puts the ball on the 1-yard line because the foul occurred in the end zone. Plummer under center, Corbin the back. You could run this here because you only need a yard, and they will run it. Corbin stopped! No team scores in the first 3 tries in overtime. We stay tied at 27. Still nobody is tied. As Corbin gets taken down for a loss. And now we go to sudden death. So if one team can score and the other team doesn't, it's over. So now the Kings with it back. The Storm cannot capitalize after the penalty. Here's Bean to throw. Bean throws underneath. That is almost intercepted. But it's incomplete. And again, the try unsuccessful. So now the Storm get it back. So the Storm are always going to have a chance to win it with the offense, while the Kings are always going to need their defense to get a stop. So Plummer in shotgun, got Corbin to his right. Plummer to throw, gets pressured, and that one's incomplete, but another flag is down. Looks like they might get defensive holding right here. Let's see this call. Whoa, wait a minute. Because it's their second penalty in overtime, it means the score is good? That's a rule? Wait a minute. Because it's the second defensive live ball foul by the Kings in overtime, by rule the score is good? How can you end a game that way? Man, there is a lot of good rules in the UFL, but that is not one of them. Yeah, let's hear this one, Dean Blandino. They didn't want fouls to continue. And they didn't want the team to continue to not score because of penalty. Oh, that's a terrible rule. Man, this is terrible. How do you end the game like this? Terrible way to lose money, yeah, really. So, by rule, because it's the second... I mean, that's so dumb, though, because if you have a game like this, and you can keep going for... If you keep going for 5, 6, 7, 8, however many overtimes... You're saying if you commit a foul on, say, the second overtime, like the second try, and then you keep going, you're still tied all the way to the 8th overtime, just because you committed a foul in the second overtime, and you get one in the 8th, you automatically lose? That makes no sense. That is the dumbest rule I've ever heard of. I mean, the UFL has a lot of really good rules, but that one is terrible. Man, they're going to get a lot of criticism for that. I didn't even know that was a thing. Yeah, that is a terrible ending to the game. I mean, it really stinks. This was a great game, too. And you end it like that? I mean, that is a terrible, terrible rule. But man, that is a really bad rule. I mean, they never even mentioned that ever in any of the... Whenever they were going over rules. Like, that is so bad. And it ruins an ending to what was a really good game. I mean, 29-27 is the final. Both quarterbacks threw 3 touchdowns, threw for over 250 yards. This was such a good game. And you just completely ruined the way it ends. Because of the dumbest rule I've ever heard of. Oh man, that is not a good rule. I'm sure they're going to get a lot of criticism for that. And they should... They need to change that rule. But a great game. besides the ending. But hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I'll be live again next Friday for... Who do we even have next week? Let's see. Next week on Friday, we've got the Renegades and Aviators. Oh. Well, maybe that game can be good. You never know. But, yeah, that's where I'm going to end today's stream, everybody. Thank you guys for watching. It was a real good game, even though the ending wasn't the greatest, and in a really pretty bad way. It was still a great game, and hopefully that continues to be the case in the UFL. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to like the stream, subscribe, turn notifications. I do my best to post as often as possible. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day or night, and I'll see you guys in the next video.